The main social justice issue that is just intimately entwined with domestic violence is misogyny. We see this in the way that domestic violence laws are written. If someone were to go anywhere and beat a stranger, they would spend significant time in jail. But if it's their partner or their child, it's usually a slap on the wrist. They rarely serve time in jail. Sometimes they get mandated to counseling or classes. So this denotes ownership, that because you're my partner or because you're my child, I have a right to violate your body. We would never allow these people to do this to someone else. Um, Also, it's always addressed as a woman's issue, even though the vast majority of abusers are men. So, it doesn't really make sense why the way that we treat domestic violence as social workers, as a society, is to work primarily with victims. Um, if someone were to perpetrate any other kind of crime, we don't look at the source of that, of how who that crime was perpetrated on as the problem. If someone does graffiti, we don't say, well, there was a blank wall there. We shouldn't just leave blank walls because they're just asking for it. But when it comes to domestic violence or sexual assault, we always want to blame the victim. And so that's something that's a major social justice issue that social workers will need to be involved with reframing. There is a movement going on to shift to prevention, to intervention with abusers. There are people like Jackson Katz who speaks out about how men need to hold each other accountable and how they really need to be at the forefront of the movement. And statistically, the empirical data tells us that that's true, that what changes abusers the most is being held accountable by other men. So we need to see more men involved in this movement.